Have you ever stopped to ask yourself a question that almost nobody over 75 thinks about? What if the biggest threats to your health are not the diseases you fear, but the everyday habits you've trusted for decades? Most people assume that reaching their 70s or 80s means slowing down is simply part of life. But what if that belief is hiding something dangerous? Scientists have uncovered a pattern that repeats across millions of older Americans, yet very few seniors ever hear about it until the damage has already begun. Today, we're uncovering the 8 things you should avoid after turning 60 if you want to protect your independence, your health, and your future. But don't skip ahead, because the final mistake is one of the most common and one of the hardest to recognize. For decades, aging was viewed as a one-way road toward decline. Doctors focused on treating disease after it appeared rather than preventing the small changes that quietly built over time. Then everything began to change. Researchers at Harvard Medical School, the National Institute on Aging, and scientists involved in the Framingham Heart Study started finding something remarkable. They discovered that many of the biggest health problems after 70 are sudden events. They are the final chapter of habits that started decades earlier. The warning signs were there all along, but most people never knew how to recognize them. The story begins much earlier than retirement. In your 20s and 30s, your body is incredibly forgiving. Your muscles recover quickly. Your metabolism works efficiently. Your bones remain strong. Missing exercise for a few weeks or eating unhealthy foods occasionally doesn't seem to cause lasting damage. Because the body adapts so well, many people believe these habits don't matter. But that's exactly where the hidden problem begins. As people enter their 40s, changes become almost invisible. Muscle mass slowly declines. Blood vessels lose flexibility. Bone density starts decreasing. Metabolism slows. According to research, adults can lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass every decade after age 30 if they do not stay active. The process is gradual, making it easy to ignore. Most people feel healthy enough to continue living exactly as they always have. Then comes the shift after 70. This is where the story changes dramatically. Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that millions of older Americans experience falls every year, making falls one of the leading causes of injury-related hospital visits for seniors. Yet the fall itself is rarely the true beginning of the problem. It is usually the result of years of declining balance, weaker muscles, reduced mobility, and unnoticed lifestyle habits. The event seems sudden, but the cause has been developing for decades. So, what are the 8 things every person over 60 should avoid? The first is avoiding movement. Many seniors believe resting protects the body. In reality, too much sitting accelerates muscle loss, weakens bones, reduces circulation, and increases the risk of chronic disease. Even short daily walks and light strength exercises can help preserve independence for longer than inactivity. The second is ignoring small warning signs. A little dizziness, slight memory lapses, difficulty climbing stairs. Many people dismiss these as just getting older, but researchers have repeatedly shown that early action often prevents much larger problems later. Waiting until symptoms become severe means recovery is much more difficult. The third is eating the same way you did 20 years ago. Your nutritional needs change with age. Protein becomes more important for preserving muscle. Hydration becomes more critical because the sensation of thirst decreases. Diets high in processed foods and added sugars increase inflammation that can affect the heart, brain, and joints. Now here's where things become more surprising. Many seniors believe stress is simply an emotional issue, but chronic stress has physical consequences. Elevated stress hormones contribute to higher blood pressure, poor sleep, weakened immunity, and memory problems. Managing stress becomes just as important as managing cholesterol. The fourth thing to avoid is social isolation. Studies involving thousands of older adults show that loneliness is associated with increased risks of depression, heart disease, cognitive decline, and even earlier death. Staying connected with family, friends, neighbors, or community groups is not simply enjoyable. It is part of protecting long-term health. The fifth is believing that mental decline is unavoidable. The brain remains capable of learning throughout life. Reading, solving puzzles, learning new skills, volunteering, and engaging in meaningful conversations all help stimulate cognitive function. People who stop challenging their minds often lose confidence before they lose ability. The sixth is avoiding strength training because of fear. For years, older adults were encouraged to avoid lifting weights. Modern research tells a different story. Proper resistance training improves muscle strength, balance, bone health, and overall quality of life. Under professional guidance, it can be one of the most effective tools for healthy aging. The seventh is neglecting regular medical checkups. Many serious conditions, including diabetes, high blood pressure, hearing loss, and vision changes, develop quietly. Detecting these problems early often prevents expensive treatments, hospital stays, and permanent complications later. Now we arrive at the eighth mistake, and it may be the most dangerous of all. Never assume that because you feel fine today, everything is fine. Many age-related conditions progress silently. High blood pressure rarely causes symptoms until damage has already occurred. Osteoporosis often remains unnoticed until a fracture happens. Memory changes may develop gradually over several years before becoming obvious. Feeling normal is not always the same as being healthy. This is where many seniors reach the breaking point. A minor illness leads to weeks in bed. Muscles weaken rapidly. Confidence disappears. Daily activities become difficult. Independence slowly fades. Families suddenly face difficult financial decisions involving caregiving, home modifications, transportation, and medical expenses. What appears to be one unfortunate event is often the result of years of unnoticed decline. Unfortunately, many people still rely on outdated advice. They believe slowing down is the safest choice. They avoid exercise, underestimate nutrition, dismiss loneliness, and wait until serious symptoms appear before seeking help. These approaches often fail because they treat the visible problem instead of preventing it. American health surveys consistently reveal another pattern. Seniors who remain physically active, socially engaged, mentally curious, and proactive with preventive health care enjoy better mobility, greater independence, and a higher quality of life. These findings have been repeated across millions of older adults throughout the United States. So, what can you do starting today? First, make movement a daily habit. Even if it's only a short walk and simple strength exercises approved by your healthcare provider. Second, pay attention to small changes instead of waiting for major symptoms. Early action gives your body the best chance to recover. Third, protect your mind as carefully as your heart. Keep learning, stay connected with people, and challenge yourself with new experiences every week. Here is one warning supported by years of medical research. The biggest danger after 60 is not simply aging. It is believing that gradual decline is unavoidable and therefore doing nothing about it. That belief alone has cost millions of people years of healthy, independent living. Before we finish, consider this. Researchers are now investigating one overlooked daily habit that may influence healthy aging more than most people realize. It affects your brain, your heart, your muscles, and even your risk of losing independence. We'll uncover that surprising discovery in our next video. If you found this information valuable, please take a moment to like this video and share it with your family and friends. Someone you care about may need to hear these facts today. And if you want more science-backed strategies to help you stay healthier, stronger, and more independent at 60, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss the next chapter.